You're watching UATV News. My name is Ina Kosinska. Good evening. For the first time, the UN called the Crimean self-proclaimed authorities the occupying power of the Russian Federation. The General Assembly of the United Nations supported the resolution on the human rights situation in Crimea. According to Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba, the document sets out the facts of repressions, unjustified measures under the guise of a pandemic, restrictions on access to Ukrainian education, as well as the depletion of natural resources. The resolution calls on the countries participating in the General Assembly to increase pressure on Russia.
Not yet extinguished your eagerness.
The document states that Russia doesn't fulfill international obligation in the sphere of human rights and international humanitarian law. It is noted that the level of observance of human rights in Crimea after its occupation by Russia has significantly decreased, also due to the fact that the Russian Federation is a part of fewer relevant international treaties than Ukraine.
A payback for military aggression in Ukraine, the European Union extended sanctions against Russia for the occupation of Crimea and invasion in Donbas for 6 more months. This is how Brussels reacted to Russia's failure to comply with the Minsk agreements. The restrictions will affect the operation of Russian banks in the European financial market, as well as the energy sector, which is the most sensitive for the Russian economy.
The sanctions limit access to EU primary and secondary capital markets for certain Russian banks and companies, and prohibit forms of financial assistance and brokering towards Russian financial institutions. The measures also prohibit the direct or indirect import, export or transfer of all defense-related materials and establish a ban for dual-use goods for military use or military end users in Russia.
Ukraine continues creating comfortable conditions at the entry-exit checkpoints by equipping the service centers. The Novotroitsky checkpoint provides one with a number of social and administrative services. Our correspondent will tell you more.
The new service center provides all the necessary administrative and legal services: bank and post offices, mother and child room, first aid post, pharmacy, shop, and administrative services center.
There will be more than 102 administrative services provided here. They are very diverse. These are services of registration and issuance of passports, business and estate registration services, social services.
Those crossing the contact line can undergo identification, withdraw money from an ATM or change currency here. Not only IDPs can get the bank service here, but also residents of nearby settlements, service center employees and border guards. Here is the latest equipment in the medical center. Blood tests can be done here, as well as tests for COVID-19, HIV and hepatitis. One can also use the services of some state social programs here, for instance, affordable medicines.
We have a computer here with access to the internet, so you can sign a declaration with a family doctor or get a referral to a specialist.
Olena and her son Andriy have already appreciated the comfort of a mother and child room. They go to Horlivka from the funeral of a relative. In order not to stand in the cold while waiting for a pass through the checkpoint, mother and son stay in the room. Ukrainian border guards will take them to zero checkpoint later.
The military will give us a bus to the zero checkpoint. I hope that they will let us to go to the territory because our reason is serious.
The service center at Novotroitsky checkpoint is a 2-story modular design building equipped with Wi-Fi, hot water and bathrooms. It corresponds to the latest standards and was erected within a month. This is the second service center this year. We're going to equip all checkpoints along the contact line in Donetsk and Luhansk region and in Kherson region on the border with the Autonomous Republic of Crimea, with the help of Ministry of Reintegration for temporarily occupied territories. The next one is Chongar, this is the Kherson region. About 30 people work at the Novotroitsky checkpoint. They are residents of the nearest settlements. People living on both sides of the contact line will be able to use the services of the center.
I think it's an extremely good thing that the Ukrainian government does its absolute maximum to ensure services to its citizens, both on territory which is controlled by the government and on that territory which isn't.
It is all about investments, and as Ukraine neighbor's representative, I'd be glad to see such modern offices on the border with Poland. I'd like them to be the same as here in Donetsk and Lugansk region. The service center at the checkpoint will provide services only when the border guards let people pass through the contact line. The bank and administrative services center are open every day except Saturday and Sunday. Reported by Roman Smolar, Nadia Sukhorukova, Boris Yakovenko, UATV News.
For the first time after a 9-month break, the best Ukrainian divers gathered together in the competition. The Team Championship of Ukraine is held in the capital with the participation of athletes from 7 regions of the country and from Kyiv. Our correspondents know more about the swimmer struggle.
In the finals of the men's diving, the main competition for the gold of the Ukrainian Team Championship unfolded between the last year winner Yevhen Naumenko and the youngest European champion Alexei Sereda. When the athlete got the Continental Championship in 2019, the latter was only 13. As a result, Yevhen Naumenko became the winner. Despite the fact that I had no competitions during a year because of COVID-19, it was a little unusual. Nevertheless, I scored my record amount of points and I'm satisfied. By his 15th birthday, Alexei Sereda has grown by 10 centimeters in a year of quarantine, got 10 kilograms and has not yet fully adapted to such changes in his body. Today he performed 2 new jumps. It will be more difficult than before, but I have to complicate the program. I performed 2 new jumps. Here are the new jumps. As a result of these competitions, the main team of Ukraine will be formed, which will compete for license for the Olympic Games in Tokyo next year. Today, the team already has 4 licenses. They plan to win 8 more in April at the World Cup in Tokyo.
For almost a year, the team has not participated in international competitions, and before the World Cup, those young athletes who are 15 years old, and there will be about 4 or 5 people in the team, they will not be able to compete with their rivals.
At the end of November, the Junior World Diving Championship was to be held in this pool. Because of the quarantine, it was postponed for a year. In 2021, they plan to host international competitions in other sports here as well. We will do a small reconstruction of our pool and will be able to host the European Championship in 3 sports: water jumping, synchronized swimming, or artistic swimming, as it is now called the water polo. The Ukrainian Diving Team Championship will last until December 19. 13 sets of awards will be presented. Reported by Roman Smolar, Olena Dituch, UATV News.
365 days around the globe, young Briton Luke Grenfell-Shaw started his trip from Bristol to Beijing after doctors diagnosed him with last-stage cancer. He traveled 1,000 European countries and now conquers Ukrainian land on his bike. My colleagues will tell you more about the adventures of a courageous Briton.
Hello. Hi. Looking at this positive guy, one could hardly say that he is terminally ill. 2 years ago, doctors diagnosed Luke with 4-stage cancer. Then he decided that it was the time to change his life. I always thought I have dreams, but they are in the future. And then when I received a diagnosis, I understood that the future needs to be now. At the beginning of this year, the guy went traveling around the world through the entire Europe and the countries of the East. He chose Beijing as the final point of the route. He planned to visit 25 countries in total, but the coronavirus has changed plans a bit. It is a very difficult situation now, because there is a pandemic, and I don't know exactly how I will continue, because everything could happen. Now Georgia closed borders. Russia closed borders, and only possible country now is Turkey. Moreover, the trip along the Black Sea coast turned out to be difficult. Strong wind and sleet made it difficult to move. There was a very strong wind when I went to Mariupol. It was very hard and now I am tired. Luke's bike isn't easy, by the way. A 2-seater model named Chris, in memory of his brother. He says that they seem to travel around the world together. In addition, in many cities, fellow travelers join his adventures. I want to share my adventures with other people, for example, from England, with my friends, neighbors, or for example, with people from Ukraine. In every country, Luke runs fundraising companies for various foundations and visit charities. In Mariupol, he visited the children of the Republic of Pilgrim Children's Rehabilitation Center. Nice, great, cool. All the guys here are all great, and I wish everyone in the future success and good luck. Reported by Roman Smoler, Mykita Havriluk, Nadia Sukharukova, UATV News.
That was our final story this hour. More updates on our official website, Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and good night. See you tomorrow.